It's finally here. What do I think of My Little Pony? Equestria Girls. Let's converse upon it. We're going to Pacheco's swivel chair of range. Well, welcome to Mario Pacheco's swivel chair of rage. I'm Mario Pacheco. This is my swivel chair. And this is my Fluttershy t-shirt. I wanted to talk about Equestria Girls when I first heard about it a couple of months ago, but I was pretty busy at the time. Plus there wasn't much to go on besides rampant speculation. I've been confused over the nature of this thing. Is it a movie, a TV movie, a direct-to-DVD movie, a spin-off, or whatever? Is it going to be in the spring, the fall, the summer, or whenever? Now it's been confirmed that it will be in limited release in movie theaters starting on June 16th, followed by being released on DVD on August 6th, and will premiere on the Hub sometime in the fall. I wanted to talk about the trailers that came out, but I had some computer troubles. Sue me. First though, this is what I felt about it so far. A few months back when the first images of the characters of this film came out, did I freak out like I did after Magical Mystery Cure?
I thought we agreed never to speak of that again.
I'm sorry, Rarity, you're right. We weren't going to speak of that. Well, anyway, I just thought about it.
They sure are, something.
Yes! Something! I love something! Something is my favorite!
Right, Twilight, just like you always are. It's something. Is it a good idea? No, I wouldn't have considered it a good idea. Is it a bad idea? Well, I didn't know. It was definitely something. The only thing that bothered me was that they're the same colors as their pony cells. I mean, really, Hasbro? You make them human and don't make them human colored? Hasbro has a serious case of not having pelotas. A lot of humanized fan art has Twilight and Rarity as black or Asian. I wouldn't have minded that. A lot of people would have minded that. And a lot of people would have commended you for it. But no. More on this later. Even odder were subsequent images of this movie's protagonist released in the New York Times, along with an article about how this film is being released in conjunction with the 30th anniversary of My Little Pony. They have pony wings and ears, and cutie marks on their faces. So are humans or anthroponies? Do they sprout wings and ears when they fight things like in an anime or something? Then not too long ago we get our first synopsis, which is when things really got weird. The plot that we knew of at the time was that Twilight is going after a thief who steals a crown and follows said thief through a portal where she becomes human, goes to high school, and meets friends that remind her of friends back home. Okay, what? Do you mean to tell me that of these humanized ponies, only Twilight is the actual pony we've come to know and love? Why do you have wings and ears here? Then we get the first trailer for Equestria Girl with an accompanying article from NewYorkTimes.com. So what did we see from that? Well, we saw that it is the case that this alternate human universe is populated by pastel-colored people who are counterparts to the ponies of Ponyville. Seriously? Pastel-colored people? It's kind of reminded me of that cartoon Doug, the Nickelodeon version. Never saw the Disney one. All the people there were weird colors too. I hated that show. It was so boring. MLP writers, you do not want My Little Pony to be like Doug. That's not something that strives towards. Now, when I saw in the first trailer that this Sunset Shimmer, who appears human in the first trailer, but resembles a pony toy described as Celestia's former apprentice, would be the aforementioned Crown Thief. This was confirmed in the second trailer. I called it. I don't care if you don't believe me. Then there's this dude, who looked like Twilight's love interest. In the second trailer, he is introduced as a Pegasus Royal Guard, apparently named Flash Sentry, with a human counterpart just like every pony else. This is actually one of the few things I was kind of looking forward to. I'll discuss in a later video how it bothers me that they've never done an episode where one of the main six is crushing on a dude or relationships or stuff like that. I do acknowledge though that it's great that My Little Pony isn't overwhelmingly about that. I was looking forward to seeing what that was all about. DigiBrony's joint review of the first trailer along with FuryBrony lamented how these two new characters happen to look vaguely Caucasian. Although Jack's Blade 07 in Bronies React to Equestria Girls trailer feels that the main six are all white anyway. I feel that's important to note. In the second trailer, we also discovered that the stolen crown is Twilight's element of harmony. So this is serious business. In order to retrieve it, she has to become Princess of the Fall formally in the human world. You can't deny that that sounded a little more interesting. So now that I've seen it, what do I think? I think the words of children's literary great Maurice Sendak are apropos. In one of his final interviews with Stephen Colbert on The Colbert Report, he reviewed Stephen Colbert's children's book, I Am a Pole, and So Can You. His response was, the sad thing is, I like it. It became a blurb on the book. So what does that mean? Did I find it surprisingly good? No, I did not find it surprisingly good. It was surprisingly awesome. Why is that sad? Because no brony will believe me until they see it for themselves. And someone will probably still hate it anyway. What's there to like about Equestria Girls? There are all these little shout-outs to the series proper that will have any die-hard brony crying in glee. Twilight has a lot of amusingly awkward and sympathetically embarrassing moments, adjusting to being human. There are also little references to YouTube, and they have iPhones, but apparently not Photoshop. I like that human Fluttershy is wearing a tank top. She looks kinda hot. And it's not weird because she's human. Twilight in her fall formal dress was also quite stunning. Also not weird. I like that Rainbow Dash plays soccer because I'm Hispanic. There's also a good lesson about overcoming the high school clique system, but it's not explored in depth as I would have liked. The best thing though is that human Pinkie Pie does what has to be the most awesome thing in My Little Pony history. I'm not going to spoil it though. The whole movie is worth seeing just for that. It's worth seeing just for the look and response on Twilight and Spike's faces. The bronies in the theater audience really burst into applause when they saw it. Sweet Celestia was so awesome. The songs in the movie written by master MLP songwriter Daniel Ingram are all great. Best of all was the musical number in the middle of the film, which with the dancing that they were doing requiring hips and bipedalism, it could only be done by humans. You get a little taste of it in the second trailer. It was like something out of a movie like Pitch Perfect. Sunset Shimmer is like Trixie 2.0. But Trixie does have a cameo. Especially since human Snips and Snails are her henchmen. She has a little bit more bite though. She's quite possibly one of the darkest villains on My Little Pony. Even human Snips and Snails are significantly darker than pony Snips and Snails. Overall, she's still your typical My Little Pony villain. There is a point though where her villainous plan is made to seem like a Xanatos Gambit, but it kind of falls flat. It kind of makes sense, but still doesn't make complete sense. And what if Twilight's new boyfriend, Flash-centric? I liked Flash. He's in a rock band, he has a cool car, he's an overall nice guy. I wanted to see Twilight crushing on him and him crushing back, but admittedly part of me was a little bothered by it. Not sure why. If any pony is all worried about this, it's not a big part of the film, and it's barely relevant to the plot. Kinda makes you wonder why it's there at all. I think it's an experiment to see if they can pull off that kind of storyline. I'll get more into what I believe to be the experimental nature of this film later on. Anyway, Megan McCarthy has already confirmed that Flash will not be in Season 4. I find that regrettable. But he should make an excellent addition to the realm of fanfiction. He and Twilight will become my OTP, along with Big Mac and Cheerlead. Spike the dog continues to have a crush on Human Rarity. That's weird. Also, the closest any of these humans come to an actual human color is vaguely Caucasian. There are quite a few of them. That's a bit unfortunate. Where's the diversity? But these are small things, nothing to worry too much about. The climax of the film, though, is indicative of the best-case scenario that is this film. The climax is very reminiscent of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and being like it was the best thing I could hope it could be. There were also some shades of Power Rangers, which I used to watch when I was a kid. I liked that. This is where the Amber Ponies come in. Now I have another of my hopeful fears. It doesn't quite make sense to me why they're releasing Equestria Girls in theaters. I believe that Hasbro is using this film as an experiment to see if people are willing to watch a My Little Pony feature film, setting the way for a real My Little Pony Friendship is Magic movie. I mean, if they can pull this off, then nothing would stop a My Little Pony Friendship is Magic movie. So I think every Brony should support this film, and it's definitely worth supporting. Overall, My Little Pony Equestria Girls is awesome. It's definitely worth seeing. If you can get a chance to see it, go and see it. There's a link below where you can find out when and where it will be playing in a theater near you. Hasbro, you're going to have to do a wider release. Every Brony has to see this. The magic of friendship really is everywhere. And if you wait until the end of the credits, just as in the marvelous movies of Marvel, you'll get a derpy-licious surprise. This concludes Mario Pacheco's Swivel Chair of Rage. If you like what you have seen, please like, favorite, subscribe, and comment. All those nice things. Thank you for watching. God bless you all, God bless America, and God bless Equestria.